office on several projects. We do appreciate you. With regard to the Parks Master Plan, would you say that this document more likely is most really a document that deals with with land acquisition relative to parks specifically, where we need to be, where their proximity to existing trails, their proximity or really highlights the need of where we need to go whenever we're looking to expand the park system, or what would be our next step for the most part? Is that what this is essentially?
It's a good piece of it. It's also, it tells us by sector, by park, by piece of equipment, the deferred maintenance we need to spend if we got current with everything in our system today.
Okay.
And then that point moving forward, the other numbers we have in there by sector tell us the general development dollars. A park normally is a playground, normally it's a walking trail. We have those dollars in that total. You see that big number, that's that projection of those costs.
Okay, and so that when I see that big number, that does take into consideration maintenance, acquisition perhaps of new equipment, of existing parks in the area. And so, and I know your office, y'all forwarded us, maybe requests or things that we might consider for our household service budget, and I appreciate this. As well as on this week's agenda, number 29, we talk about issues that or parts that we're going to deal with, I guess, in this year's. I don't know if these are CIP dollars that we're using for park maintenance, but it's construction projects or awards projects that we have titled. So I guess what I'm saying, how do this list and this list that we're passing, how does that gel with the master plan? How does all that fit together? Is there like a list of relative to deferred maintenance that rolls into this plan, and then that number will be decreased by whenever we're able to get this done? Is that how that's done?
Certainly. I mean, we have a list of all deferred maintenance that we need to address in all our parks. So when you see the chips, that is the cushioning devices that we use in our parks. It's not mulch by no means.
Sure.
And so those are the devices we put in, and those materials are what make our parks safe against a national standard, because we have to have those materials. We need funding to catch that up. That would take that off the list.
Mm-hmm.
But that list that you have,
Right.
somewhere around year 5 to 7, depending on play, depending on weather, it's going to come back on the list because of wear and tear.
Let me ask you a question relative to bond fund capacity for parks. What is our bond fund capacity for parks? And do we have we utilized all those dollars, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, no, we haven't used all the dollars. We have the dollars that the city was able to put into the CIP project that we can afford to we have the bond capacity, we have the city bond capacity.
How much money do we have in our city bond capacity for parks that has not been earmarked on projects?
The plan was originally 60 million, and I think through the process so far, I think we're somewhere around 30 million maybe.
So we have about $20 million that have not been earmarked?
No, sir, it's in the CIP. What do you mean by earmarked?
Have been delineated for specific projects.
So we have about 30 million roughly that we know through today.
Yes.
And projected out, there is close to probably another, I'm going to guess off the top of my head, sitting here, maybe 18 million, 20 million.
Okay, so
in future
Future
projects.
years.
There is not $20 million sitting there that has not been allocated to future projects. There is some money that is kept aside for emergency capital projects.
how much is that?
I don't know off the top of my head, Councilmember.
Like 10 million?
No, sir.
Okay. You know, because I hear parts and I hear about the issues with regard to challenges we have with moving some of these projects forward, and as well as deferred maintenance. But I also understand what we passed relative to parks and our bonds, and I just don't see the project. I don't, you know, and maybe it's here, and I don't know, but I don't see that they've been earmarked or they've been, you know, delineated for specific projects. And if there's some unused capacity that we have, that we planned for, I don't see why we're not using it for
Councilmember, let me answer my question, and then the mayor can give you the real answer. Mine would be, if I had all 60 million, I'd spend it in 1 year. Now, that's not possible. And so, most of the dollars that have been spent so far in this current bond issue were pretty much most of the projects that were listed in the bond program when we went forward with it.
4 years ago, right?
Yes.
4 years ago.
Yeah, but the money only really started 2 years ago.
Right.
We approve almost 2 years in advance a package that doesn't start till 2 years later. So we can give you every project that has been spent, and then in the current CIP, it shows you what dollars that are projected out for projects. But those have to be approved each year by council.
Thank you.